Hello, welcome to this course, HNS 307 Research Methods. My name is Dr. Kivuti Bitok, and I'm going to be taking you today through the topic of characteristics of good research topic. I know you have had the introductory bit by the course coordinator, and the expectations of this course is that by the end of the 45 weeks, we'll have at least developed a proposal, draft 0. And one of the things we expect from that proposal is that, or draft proposal, is that it should be of good topic. So what are the characteristics of good research topic? Now, I want to believe in your course of training and during your experiential learning, as you were attached in the clinical area, the community, and our work study program for those who are involved in the same, there are some things which have been of interest to you. I want to believe there are some areas which you identified which had challenges, and I want to believe that you've thought of ways you'd be able to improve or deal with those challenges. Other areas could be asking ourselves, are you up to date with the nursing practice and research in that area of interest? Maybe you enjoyed pediatric rotations more. Maybe you enjoyed the midwifery rotation more. Or maybe you enjoyed the research methods more. But one of the things we want to ask ourselves is, if I have interest in this particular field, have I been able to update myself with the current research going on in those areas? So what are the current research going on in your area of interest? What policies are being implemented in your area of interest? If it's in HIV care, if it is infectious diseases, what policies are there which have been formulated, which have been implemented? And you want to ask yourself, in this area of interest, what would be some of the career advancements available? Is it an area I would want to pursue ahead? And then those are some of the questions we ask around looking for a meaningful research topic, because you want to do a research which will quench your thirst, which will meet your interest and demands, which will add value. So those are some of the areas we think about, and those are some of the things we consider as we decide how or when to do research. Okay. Let us go online. Take 5 minutes. Go online. Search characteristics of good research topic, and let us list down at least 5 of them. Okay, let's see some of those characteristics you came up with. A research topic should be topical, it should be current, it should be able to address important matters. It should be significant, it should be well defined, it should be clear, it should be specific, it should be actionable, researchable, or achievable. It should be interesting, it should be manageable, ethical, and I'm sure there are many other characteristics you have found. Is the research topic original? Does it solve a question or does it answer a question? Does it solve a problem? Is it purposeful? Is it systematic? Is there a roadmap and a plan on how to achieve your objectives? Is it logical? Does it make sense? Is it evidence-based? Is it ethical? Can it be replicated? And let me tell you, there are many other characteristics of a research topic which are important to always consider. So, your title, the title of the research topic, is what to tell us what you're interested in researching on. What are some of the characteristics of the title? 1, it should be simple. It should be straightforward. It should have few possible words, yet describe exactly what needs to be studied. If you have a title which has more than 15 words, then you know you're probably not communicating what you need to. The title of the proposal should be able to guide us or predict the content of the paper or the proposal. There should be a research tone of writing that title. The tone should be serious. It's not a joke. It should not be hilarious. It should have an active verb. The title should also be specific in terms of subjects, the area of study, the scope of study. So that's some of the things that we need to ensure are covered in the title of the study. An important aspect to ensure we are also covered in is to make sure that we have positive words of the title. Write the title using positive words which create interest. The title should also include both dependent and independent variables. What is the variable you're interested in measuring? What are the contributing variables which can be modified? And those are the independent variables. The title also gives you an idea of how the paper will be organized. As you write your title, you need to avoid redundant phrases like a study of, an analysis of, an investigation of, or such similar constructions. Interesting and fascinating too is that a study title could actually take the form of a question or a declarative statement. Remember, good academic writing skills and simple things like formatting, that when you write a research title, it should have good formatting. Capitalize all first words, for example, for clarity and making it a legible topic. So I know you had an introductory lecture and you talked about the possible sources of research topic. You talked about previous experiences, you talked about interests, but one of the challenges I want to give us, even as we look forward to developing our research topics and titles, is that go through the list of your lecturers in the departments, find which lecturer aligns to your area of interest. See what research they're doing. See how can you align your research interests and those of your mentors, and see how to work along. And just before we look at some of the examples of the previous topics your fellow students have developed, I also want to challenge us to read widely. Go to the library, whether it's the medical school library or go to the Bento library, and find out some of the areas previous students have worked on, so that one, you don't reinvent the wheel. Your work needs to be as original as possible. Number two, it to give you an opportunity to critique the titles you peruse through against some of the characteristics we have talked about. Let's just look at 3 examples of topics which have been developed by the previous students, and I want you to go back and gauge those titles against the characteristics or the list of characteristics we came up with of a good research topic. Number 1, a student wanted to do a topic or research proposal, and they came up with this topic 1: analysis of response of elderly patients with end-stage renal disease to COVID-19 vaccine at Bagathi Hospital. The second topic, assessment of knowledge, attitude and practice of oxygen therapy among pediatric nurses at KNH during the peak of COVID-19 pandemic. Example number 3, to determine the effectiveness of primary patient care among medical patients at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Referral and Teaching Hospital. Do you feel that these research topics are good? Do they meet the threshold of a good research topic? And that is guided by the list of the characteristics we talked about and we developed. How can they be improved if need be? I want you to go ahead. So when you're critiquing the study title, you want to ensure it meets the following criteria. 1, should be focused, should have a maximum of 22 words. It should specify the population under study. It needs to be specific in terms of the geographical location of your study or institutional location. It must include both independent and dependent variables. It needs to mention the study design and must have an active verb. If you meet those 7 characteristics, then you know you're on the right way of making the right study title. And write your own research topic. Share it with your colleague and critique each other's title even before you submit to your lecturer. One of the resources we need to be aware of, and which is as an important partner in this research course, is the University of Nairobi Kenyatta National Hospital Ethics and Research Committee. It is located within the KNH complex next to School of Pharmacy. You can be able to get a lot of information about that ERC on their website. As you develop your proposal and as we go along, we want you to prepare that proposal with the mind that that is an institution which will give you ethical clearance to conduct your research. And so, when you're writing out that proposal, there's an outline which is recommended by those two institutions. So please take your time and visit the ERCUON Kenage website and download the guidelines for proposal development. You'll be able to find out what outline is expected. As you write your proposal, organize your write-up or your content based on that guideline developed by the ERC. I want to challenge us with the assignment of the day. You remember that area of interest you have targeted? Take time and go to the library, online or physical, and read at least 3 journal articles in nursing research or in your area of interest in research. At the end of those 3 articles, there's usually, or the tail end of each of those articles, there's usually recommendations for further research in that area. I want you to look at those recommendations and list at least 3 of those recommendations that could be of interest to you. That is not the only way of getting a research topic, as we have discussed earlier, but that will give you a more focused area of study, and it will also be able to tell you what the research community in your area of interest is concerned about. I also want us to draft a proposed title by close of business next week, Friday. Once you've written your proposed title, go to the eClass portal and submit your research on the assignment link labeled Research Proposal Topic. When we meet in class next, we'll go through some of those topics and critique them during the class discussion. I hope to see. I'm going to leave you with a few extra resources to interact with and review. And one of the most interesting of them, okay, all of them are interesting, but there's one which is really interesting by L.K.B of 2020, where he works with FRIENDS. And FRIENDS is an acronym for feasibility, relevance, interesting, ethical, narrow, discipline, and supervisor. You'll find that it's important for you to work with your friends and also follow the FRIENDS framework. So here are some of those resources. Please read further. Remember, research requires constant reading, training, and retraining. And apart from that, you need to purpose to enjoy the journey. Until next time, have a good week.